Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. Today's video we are going to be continuing with the post-trade deadline rebuilds, and today we have the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are currently 33 and 36. They are the current 9 seed here in the Eastern Conference, so if the season did end today, they are in the play-in tournament. Now, this Raptors team is not necessarily bad. There's just some moves that need to be made with them in order to go out and maybe put them over the edge and be a series contender in the Eastern Conference. We all know that back in 2019, they had Kawhi Leonard. He won a championship with them, then ended up leaving in free agency to join the Clippers. The real reality of the situation with this team is we just need to go get that star. That's what we're going to try to do today, with the obvious goal being winning a championship. I like this Raptors team a lot, and I honestly don't think it's going to take too many trades to really get them back into contention. So once we go out and find that star, I think we're going to be in a really good spot. So I'm really excited to do this one today. A lot of you guys are asking for the Raptors. That's why we're doing them today. As always, you guys do have any other video ideas, I'd love to hear them down below in the comments section. I've been really enjoying kind of our schedule of normal rebuilds and challenges and whatever else you guys want to see. Let me know all that down below. Of course, if you guys are new around here as well or just have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, stick around a while. We'd love to have you here in this wonderful community that I really appreciate every single day. But man, 33 and 36, the Raptors definitely do need some help. They're not anywhere close to contention right now. Let's see if we can go maybe get them a little bit closer, get that championship. See you guys in there. Before we do sim the rest of year one here, we're going to go ahead and obviously take a look at this roster. We're going to have some pretty big decisions to make this offseason, so I want to know what's ahead of ourselves just so we can prepare. But as I mentioned, 33 and 36, not a great record. It's not a terrible record. It's not a team that really concerns me too much if I'm at the top of the East. All right, we have Fred VanVleet, who is technically an expiring contract. He has a player option for about $22 million. I'm assuming he'll probably turn that down and want a little bit more money. I like Fred VanVleet a lot. He actually had a really good game the other night against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. But I'm going to see how much money he asks for. We'll take it day by day with him. We have Delano Banton and Malachi Flynn as our backup point guard options. I don't hate either of these two options, 23, 24 years old respectively. I think one of them can potentially be our backup point guard the remainder of the video. It's really going to depend a lot on progression, see how everything else goes. We have OG Anunoby here, who so many people, including myself, all thought was going to be a trade piece at the deadline. Raptors ended up hanging on to him, and he still has another year on his deal. So we're going to go ahead and ride it out with OG Anunoby, and if something comes up that would be good to include him in a trade, we'll probably do it. I like OG Anunoby a lot. We have Gary Trent Jr. here, who is an 80 overall at 24 years old. Has a player option for just under $19 million. We're going to see what he ends up doing with that contract. We have Scotty Barnes, last year's Rookie of the Year. Had a couple rocky games. I feel like maybe wasn't the best. It really didn't take that second step as many expect people to do in their second year in the league. But overall wise, he's still been pretty solid here in his second year. I have plans to build around him today, so I like Scotty Barnes a lot. We have Otto Porter and then Will Barton here as our two backup small forwards. Power forward spot, Pascal Siakam, the best player on this team. No plans to move on from him. Chris Boucher and then Thaddeus Young here as well. Center spot, Jakob Poeltl obviously came over in that deal from the Spurs at the deadline, or should I say, I guess back, because Jakob Poeltl was a Raptor before this. We have Precious Achiuwa and then Christian Koloko. So there's some decent depth on this team. There's some okay talent. We just really like that star player, as I mentioned. So we're going to try to get there eventually, but as of now, this is the team. Let's set this rotation. Here's how I've decided to do the rotation for the rest of year one here in Toronto. Here's how it's going to look. Starting 5, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl. The game actually wants Gary Trent Jr. to start over OG Anunoby. I love OG Anunoby's defense. I'm going to include him in my starting lineup. I think that bigger role that he was really looking for on another team that maybe he hadn't found in Toronto before the trade deadline, I'm going to try to go ahead and give it to him. He's going to be in the starting lineup playing 33 minutes a night. I like OG Anunoby a lot. Gary Trent Jr. will be the sixth man off the bench, though. He's going to be playing 20 minutes a night. Interested to see what he does with this player option this offseason, and then if he declines it, how much money he's going to want. Chris Boucher, not a bad backup power forward, followed by Precious Achiuwa, Otto Porter, and then I decided to play Malachi Flynn because he has another year on his deal as our backup point guard. Delano Banton's an expiring contract. Not to say I wouldn't bring him back, but I don't know, man. I like Malachi Flynn a decent amount. So we're going to have him be our backup point guard. If that's the wrong decision, then my apologies. But again, they're 2 overalls difference. It's not too crazy, especially because they're only playing 10 minutes a night. So this is it for now. I'd obviously like to stick in the plan. You never know what can happen in the playoffs. So 33 and 36. Let's see what happens here at the end of year one. We end year one going 40 and 42, which I'm really hoping is good enough to be at least in the plan. I'm imagining here in the East, it's definitely good enough to be in the play-in. Obviously, we will find out. Nikola Jokic wins his third straight MVP. Paolo Banchero is your Rookie of the Year. Ben Mathurin, Joel Embiid, Alperen Şengün, and Joe Mazzulla does win Coach of the Year. So, let's get into the playoffs right now. Check out the standings. We finish as the 9 seed, so we don't move up or down at all. We'll be taking on Chicago here in the first round of the play, and then obviously we play the loser of this matchup here in order to try to go out and get the 8 seed. Feel free to pause, take a look at the Western Conference if you wish. Let's take a look at the stats on the year, see how everybody did here in year 1. Pascal Siakam led us away in scoring with almost 24 points a game. Really solid year from Pascal Siakam here. Fred VanVleet, not too bad. 19 points, 4 boards, 7 assists, around 1.5 steals a game. Was 39% from the field. Like to raise that a little bit. How do you shoot from 3? Around 34%. So, not terrible. I like Fred VanVleet. Again, it's all going to depend on how much he wants this offseason. Gary Trent Jr. was tremendous off the bench for us, or, the games that I played him off the bench for. OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, Preston Chua, Boucher. I mean, not bad really at all. I'd like to get Scotty Barnes maybe closer to around 20 points a game at some point. I really feel like if you could do around 27, 4.5, that would be great, but obviously that could be wishful thinking. I don't really know. So let's get into the play-in. As I mentioned here, we do have the Chicago Bulls. Obviously got to win this matchup if we want to advance to the next round. We know what this team looks like. Obviously, hypothetically, they wouldn't really have Lonzo Ball. He's probably going to be out for the rest of the year, but still a good team. I actually think we could be better. And we do end up winning here. So now we have to face the New York Knicks here, who have fallen to a 7 seed. Probably won't actually happen in real life. I think the Knicks are going to be a real big pain in the ass in the first round for whoever the hell they play. I said this before. I want a New York Knicks and a Cleveland Cavaliers first round matchup really, really badly. Whoever wins this takes on the Celtics in the first round, and wow, we end up winning. So we're going to be taking on the 1-seeded defending Eastern Conference champion, Boston Celtics, here in the first round. Hold on a damn minute. It looks like they've made some changes. They have slid Malcolm Brogdon into the starting 5 over Marcus Smart, which would be the worst idea in the world these days. They have started Danilo Gallinari, who has obviously not played for the Celtics yet because he's had an ACL injury, and they've signed Miles Bridges. Just a couple small moves for the defending Eastern Conference champions. Well, there's no way we're beating them even without all those changes. But, yeah, I guess we had a good time, even though we got swept out of the playoffs. Is what it is for me. Let's simulate the rest of this and see what ends up happening. Do we have a finals rematch? Oh, my God. We have a finals rematch. There's nothing that would terrify me more as a Celtics fan than having to play the Warriors again in the finals. I get like Vietnam flashbacks. Let's go ahead and sim this, see if Tatum can get his revenge. He clearly does, as he sweeps the Warriors, goes out and win a finals MVP. Great, great, great. Do it in 2K. Do it in real life, Jason. All right, let's get into the first of 3 off seasons. This is a 4-year, the rebuild's kind of similar to what I've been doing. Let's hit the draft lottery real quick. I don't think there are any trades that would allow us to be into the lottery. We can just simulate this. It is the Portland Trailblazers actually end up with the first overall pick. I didn't see what they were projected, but good for Damian Lillard finally getting some help, assuming that's Victor Wembanyama coming over there, getting rid of Yusuf Nurkic, who I do not think is the greatest player in the world. I like Nick Nurse a lot, an NBA champion head coach. I have no reason to move on from him. Let's head up to the draft. Do we own our first round pick this year? We do. It is at number 15. We don't have a ton of other picks, which definitely makes me a little bit nervous because it doesn't really allow me to go out and really make a huge trade, but I don't really mind having number 15 right now. Chris Boucher is 30. I did not realize he is that old. Well, he hasn't even been in the league that long. I guess that's why it makes sense. Damn, I didn't realize he was 30. All right, we might try to make a trade or two, maybe bump up a couple spots, but nothing too crazy high. Let's see what we can do. The Charlotte Hornets own the 7th overall pick in this year's draft. We're going to offer them 15 in Chris Boucher. It's not because I realized he was 30 years old. It's strictly based off the fact that our highest overall in Pascal Siakam is not going to need to be replaced at any point. And I believe I can replace Chris Boucher. So we're going to go ahead and offer 15 in Boucher for that number 7 overall selection. We really don't have much else to offer. If I want to throw in like Christian Koloko, I possibly could. I mean, I don't really think I'll move on from Precious Achiuwa, so maybe I'll throw in Christian Koloko as well. That's it, though. All right. They take that. I'm going to be interested to see who's available for us here at number 7. I didn't want to move into like the top 3 or 4, get one of the guys I really always get. So let's take a look at the summary. Good job, good job, good job, Portland Trailblazers. Oh my God, Scoot Henderson went 1 pick before this. Taylor Hendricks at 4, San Antonio. Jarvis Walker. which means the Thompsons are both here. So is Nick Smith Jr. Now what do we want to do with that? Because there are definitely options here. I like Nick Smith Jr. a lot. Jed Howard's here as well. Keontae George. I've drafted a bunch of these guys that end up working out pretty well for us. I'm thinking I might go Amen Thompson again. I draft him a lot, though, and I do want to kind of take Auser Thompson this time, though. Ceiling's Donovan Mitchell. That's a pretty crazy ceiling. Dwayne Wade for Nick Smith Jr. Ooh, who do I take? The thing is, I don't really need a shooting guard, but it's tough because there can only be so many cooks in a kitchen, and I really like OG Anunoby, and I think more of his natural position is the 3 than the 4, but then we're screwed because we have 2 power forwards, because then we'll have Siakam and we'll have Scotty Barnes. So unless I want to play one of them at center, which I actually might end up doing, I'm going to take Nick Smith Jr. I think he's the best player available here that's not Amen Thompson. I'm not going to take Amen Thompson again. I just got him in a video the other day. So Nick Smith Jr. is going to be a 77 overall for us. I'm very happy with that trade. Fred VanVleet declines his option. We're going to obviously bring back Barnes. Gary Trent Jr. declines his option. I didn't think. It's interesting. I'm going to bring back Malachi Flynn. Obviously not in a realistic rebuild. Doesn't really matter. And do I want to qualify Delano Banton? Sure. Why not? I can maybe fit a first-round pick for him at the end of the day. So we definitely have some big free agents here. I cannot just let Fred VanVleet go. I'll give him $21.5 million over 4 years. I am going to pay Jakob Poeltl as well. I don't know if he'll be starting next year, but I'm definitely not just going to let him go. And then, oh, wait. Who else is our free agent? Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr., who I do not want to let go. Actually, you know what? Delano Banton can leave. I got to make sure I get him back. Obviously, this game can occasionally be a little weird in terms of like re-signing players. He has no offers yet, so I'm going to wait on renouncing his rights and obviously wait on trying to get him back. Let me just make sure he's still good. Gary Trent Jr., no offers. And then one more day here. We get VanVleet and Poeltl back, and then is it going to let me bring him back? Okay, it is. I'm going to go ahead. I'll give him $16.5 million a year. Hopefully he accepts that. Nope. The auto-renounce on some players, this game is very confusing. All right, we have some big decisions to make in terms of what we want to do, especially at this shooting guard spot right here, because I like Nick Smith Jr. a lot, and I really do think there's a world that I end up starting him this year, sliding OG Anunoby to the starting 3, sliding Barnes to the 4, and sliding Siakam to the 5. It's a crazy possibility. Let me see how it works out, though. So I moved everybody's positions kind of to the way I thought it was going to be. Pascal Siakam's overall did not change at all. Scotty Barnes actually went up in overall, and OG Anunoby actually went up 2 overall. So I kind of like this a little bit more. I feel like everybody's kind of more in a natural position, maybe besides Siakam, but I really do think this is going to work out for the best. I want to get Nick Smith Jr. starting minutes. I've seen how well he can develop. I've seen him all the way up to an 89 overall by the end of some of these videos. So that's the way I think it's going to work out best in the long run. Gary Trent Jr. will come off the bench and will be my 6th man. Right now, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my 2 backup centers because I like Jakob Poeltl a lot. I obviously just paid him a decent amount of money, which means Precious Achiuwa might be a little bit expendable. Now, I could maybe move him to the power forward spot only at 6'8", but I don't really like that he has a D rating mid-range and a D rated 3-point shot as well in today's NBA as a backup power forward. That's not great for me, so not that Scotty Barnes' ratings are that much better, but he's 21. But I might try to go ahead and trade him, see if we can get a little more of a generalized fit as our backup power forward, and maybe try to upgrade Otto Porter as well, just because I do think he's a little bit older. So let's take a look at some of these trades. Precious Achiuwa, just to glance, he's 2.5 stars. TJ Warren's 29. I can include both those guys in that deal. Caleb Martin is an option. Davion Mitchell, hang on a minute. Now, I actually think this could be a good deal. Davion Mitchell could come in. I think he's a better fit than Malachi Flynn would be. So, yeah, let me take Davion Mitchell. Malachi Flynn will either get me a backup small forward or a power forward or just a draft pick, and I can sign somebody. It's not really that big of a deal because I really like that move a lot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a draft pick. I think I could really reload on a pick here, and I think that's probably a good idea. It's a Cavs pick. That won't be valuable. Lakers pick, probably not in 2026. Mavericks lottery protected, Top 10 Pacers in 2025. That's a good deal right there. All right, which means we are probably going to attempt to trade Otto Porter Jr. I just want somebody who's a little bit younger. I like Otto Porter Jr. It's not anything against him. He's just 30. I'm trying to get this team a little bit younger. So let's see if we can find anybody. Is this an unprotected Hornets pick in 2 years? That's also really valuable. I said I wanted to get younger, but I like Dorian Finney-Smith's defense a lot, and he's locked up for 2 years. All right, screw the younger part. Dorian Finney-Smith, I like the defense a lot. And, yeah, he's going to come in. Dude, him and OG Anunoby together on the court at the same time would just be very scary. All right, let's sign a backup small forward to back up OG Anunoby. Lonnie Walker is here. Beautiful signing right there. Love it, love it, love it. I'm really liking the way things are coming together with this team. I hope Fred VanVleet doesn't regress. That would be really annoying. But we made some changes. Nothing too crazy. And I'm feeling really good about this team at the start of year 2. I'll see you guys at the rotation. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because obviously we haven't really done anything with this team yet, especially come playoff time. We only got swept by the Celtics. But I'm really liking the way things are kind of coming together right now. I think this is going to work out beautifully as a starting lineup. I really like how everything kind of fits together. Here's how it's going to be. It's Fred VanVleet. Nick Smith Jr. is going to be starting. Funny enough, the game actually didn't even want him in the rotation. In a 9-man rotation. I liked a 10-man rotation better, and I'm going to have him starting, playing 33 minutes a night. Followed by OG Anunoby moves to the 3. We move Scotty Barnes to the 4, and we move Siakam to the 5. Again, we might lack a little bit of size, but I don't really think it's going to matter too much. I like having my 5 be a guy like Pascal Siakam. I think it's going to fit really well. Bench unit, Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl. Davion Mitchell's up to a 79 overall. I'm super pumped about that trade we made. I mean, what did we gave up somebody off the bench, whoever the hell it was, and it wasn't that good of a trade anyways. Lonnie Walker looks like a good signing as well, and then Dorian Finney-Smith, 10 minutes a night, hopefully going to play some good defense here behind Scotty Barnes. I mean, I like this team. This bench is crazy good, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm hoping for a top 4 or 5 seed here in the East. See you guys at the end of year 2. I always sim to the second to last game of the season just so I can see the record. This is a horrible way to end the season. What is this, a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game losing streak to end the season right now? That is fucking ugly. And make it 10. 44-38 is our record on the... God, Jesus. Oh, that's a whole lot of nasty. Ja Morant's your MVP. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Brandon Miller, 6th Man of the Year in Orlando, assumably backing up Franz Wagner. Giannis wins D. Point. Jaden Ivey, Most Improved. Quinn Snyder wins Coach of the Year. I mean, we were having a good year up until the 10-game losing streak to end the regular season. We finished as a 6 seed. Yeah, look at this. Lost 10 in a row. I mean, god damn, that is just fugly as hell. I like this team a lot, though. I really do. The scoring definitely spread out, and our rookie was our leading scorer, funny enough. Followed by Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby. Now, I definitely did add some more scoring. Looks like Scotty Barnes at the power forward spot's doing some more rebounding, a little bit less scoring. I don't necessarily mind it, especially with his new fit there. So we'll end up, hopefully developing him well. We have the Celtics again in the first round. There's just absolutely no chance in hell that we're beating this team. There's just too much talent there, to say the least, right now. Which I don't know if that means we're going to have to go. I mean, we're in a loaded Eastern Conference right now. I don't know if that means we're going to have to go out and potentially trade for a star or whatever the situation's going to be, but we're going to have to do something. Darius Garland goes out and wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP along with the Finals MVP. Congrats to the Cavs. All right, offseason number 2 heading into year number 3. I'm a little bit nervous, especially about the way we ended that season, then again getting swept by the Celtics, which isn't great. You don't really love seeing that. Magic end up with number 1, followed by the Thunder, Heat, Thunder again, and then the San Antonio Spurs. Staff signing here. I still like Nick Nurse. I'm going to give him one more year, though. If we have another down year and it's a team I'm pretty confident in, I'm probably going to end up cutting ties with him. So let's head up to the draft. We do not have our first-round pick this year. That's fine. We have good depth on this team anyways. Barnes is coming back. OG Anunoby declines, and Davion Mitchell will come back as well. So I definitely do want to get Scotty Barnes back. Not Scotty Barnes. I want to get OG Anunoby back. How much is he going to ask for? Oh, shit. Siakam's a free agent as well. Well, I got to get Pascal back. OG Anunoby wants roughly $28 million a year. It's a lot of money, but we're going to get both of them back, and then Chris Clemens can go. Everybody else here is free to go. So we get our 2 biggest free agents back, which is obviously great. I was never going to let either of them just walk. But again, we don't exactly have the money to go Kawhi. Kawhi, you want to play for $11 million here? Probably not. Looks like he's going to be going back to the Clippers. I'm a little nervous with this team. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's just needing more development or having to really actually go out and find that star. I honestly do think Nick Smith Jr. can get there by the end of the video, but that is risking a lot and kind of banking on maybe a lot of mediocre seasons before this video ends. So we might make a trade. If not, I'll see you guys at the start of year 3 with the rotation. Oh my god, we just sold our soul to the devil, and we went ahead and we made a huge trade heading into year 3. We traded Fred VanVleet along with Dorian Finney-Smith and 4 first-round picks and acquired LaMelo Ball from the Charlotte Hornets. Wow, I am surprised to say the least that they accepted that. I actually tried to do that same trade package. I tried to trade for Tyrese Halliburton first. Pacers weren't taking it, but the Charlotte Hornets were willing to give me LaMelo Ball for 4 firsts, Fred VanVleet, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Well, we got our young point guard, and it wasn't anything against Fred VanVleet. I took a look at this lineup, and I really kind of did the math, figured he was kind of the odd man out at the end of the day. I didn't have a problem with him necessarily. I think getting a real star player here, like LaMelo Ball, who's coming off a year of 28 points, almost 6 rebounds, 11 assists, it's the smart thing to do. So, leaves us now with 9 guys to play. Do I want to give Scotty Barnes a go at it without a backup? I think it's possible, and I think I say that because Pascal Siakam can play in some units where he plays next to Jakob Poeltl and plays that power forward position. So I'm going to give it a go with a 9-man rotation. If it doesn't end up working out, then I'll definitely try to go ahead and sign somebody. But as of now, it's going to be 9 guys. We pulled off the huge blockbuster trade. I'm liking the look of this team a lot. I'll see you guys at the rotation. So things are shaping up really nicely here in Toronto. I was really surprised that the Charlotte Hornets were willing to give us LaMelo Ball. He's up to a 93 overall. It's obviously awesome to have a young superstar like that when, coming off in just a crazy year there in Charlotte. So I'm super excited to have him here. Here's how it's going to look for year 3. And I'm liking it a lot. LaMelo Ball, Nick Smith Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and then Pascal Siakam. Again, I kind of gave you guys my reasoning why we're not going to go give Scotty Barnes a backup here. I think Siakam can play some power forward a little bit heading into, second units, whatever it may be. Bench unit, Davion Mitchell's progressing quite nicely. I'm still excited that I still can't believe I got him. Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl, and then Lonnie Walker. So really good bench, lost a little bit of depth, but gained a really, really good player. I think we're going to be a lot better this year. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. Our third season ends with a record of 61-21. Obviously, 61 wins is great. 60-plus wins is great no matter which way you look at it. It all matters in the playoffs, though. We haven't won a playoff game yet. Darius Garland is your regular season MVP. Isaiah Collier, Rookie of the Year. Alzer Thompson, 6th Man of the Year there in Golden State. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. Amon Thompson wins Most Improved. Nick Nurse does win Coach of the Year. His job is basically riding on the line right now, depending how we do in the playoffs. So I'm still feeling good about this team, though. I don't want to go ahead and say I'm just going to can the guy, but I have my expectations. We're going to see what ends up happening. LaMelo Ball, Nick Smith Jr., our 2 leading scorers, followed by Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Davion Mitchell, Lonnie Walker, Gary Trent Jr., and Jakob Poeltl. Rebounds was Scotty Barnes, and assists was LaMelo Ball. All right, who we got here in round 1? It is going to be the 8th-seeded Washington Wizards. Amon Thompson, Bradley Beal, Corey Kispert, Denny Avdija, Clint Capella. So they've moved on from Kristaps Porzingis, and they've replaced him with, I guess, starting Denny Avdija and Clint Capella. Bold move. I don't think this team's touching us. Okay, we go to 6, but we do win. New York here in round 2. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. They have Nick Claxton coming off the bench. This is an interesting duo right here. I don't really think it doesn't really feel like you need both those guys on the team. Are we really losing the first 2 games to the New York Knicks? Really? 2K? Nick Nurse is out as Toronto Raptors head coach. I'm saying it right now. And the New York Knicks are actually in the finals. And the Trailblazers, who actually just had the first overall pick a couple years ago. That's the Victor Wembanyama effect, but I'm happy for Damian Lillard nonetheless, going out and getting a ring. All right, let's hit the draft lottery. We are out of draft picks. I know that for a fact. I gave basically every single pick I own to the Charlotte Hornets in order for me to go ahead and have LaMelo Ball on this team. So I don't know if he's just not under contract. He's not. Mike Stauffer is going to come in, and he's going to be my head. Who's he with? Who is he with? The Timberwolves. Why the fuck do you need a perimeter defensive? Oh, my God. Do I want Ty Lue? I guess. He has the second best ratings. But who's even the Timberwolves head coach? I don't know. Oh, shit. I didn't pay Ty Lue enough money. Oh, I want to punch somebody in the head right now. Am I just going to get blocked everywhere? I don't know who the fuck designed the new coaching system, but it is so dumb. And I guess I'm bringing in Jacob Underwood. I've had some success with him in the past. God, it's ridiculous how hard it is to sign a head coach. And never mind, find a head coach in that menu. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. That's the only way to say it. Or Skip, sorry. I'm getting angry, and I don't need to be. Team player options, Nick Smith Jr. is going to be coming back. Qualifying offers, I'm going to give Scotty Barnes and Davion Mitchell. Obviously, both of those guys are key pieces of this team. And, yeah, it's the final year, so I'm going to qualify them both because I don't really plan on moving on from either of them. To be honest with you, I don't know what other moves really to make with this team. Lonnie Walker is also a free agent. I'd definitely like to bring him back. It's actually a pretty good piece for us as backup small forward. So I'll see if he's available here in free agency. Is he? I think he'd be a good guy to bring back. Lonnie Walker, you want to come back? Cool, thank you. And, yeah, we have to decide basically if we want to go out and make a trade or not. Let me do that. I don't know if this trade's going to work or not, but I think we do have to change up something here heading into the final year, and it's going to be Nick Claxton at the center spot. Obviously, everybody's just going to slide back down to where they started this video. It'll be Scotty Barnes at the 3, Pascal Siakam at the 4. I like Nick Claxton a lot. He obviously provides a lot of big man, interior defense, and I like OG Anunoby a lot. But ultimately, I felt we had to make some kind of shakeup in our starting 5, and OG Anunoby was kind of the odd man out. So Nick Claxton, welcome to the team. Going to be obviously our new starting center. We move Scotty Barnes to small forward, and we move Pascal Siakam back down to power forward. So the way things are looking right now, we got acquired Marjon Beauchamp as well. I'm probably going to run a 9-man rotation still with Pascal Siakam not having a backup, and then Scotty Barnes can maybe play some backup 4 if and when we do get there. So that is it for now. Unless, do I maybe want to try to? No, there's really nothing else I can do. I'll see you guys at the start of the 4th and final year. We made another really big move this offseason, and a move that I really am still feeling a little bit uneasy about. I don't know if it's going to be the move that really carries us to the promised land, but I really did kind of feel like we would probably work a little bit better if we had more of a generalized center in here. Now, I know I said a lot of good things about Siakam starting at center, and I kind of meant them. I'm going to try something a little bit different. If it doesn't work, then I'll blame myself. It's LaMelo Ball, Nick Smith Jr., Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Nick Claxton. I think the real kind of problem stems back to the fact that Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam are really both power forwards. So you got to kind of work around that aspect a little bit. And here in 2K, it's a little bit harder than it is in real life where things don't matter as much. Not actually hard. You know what I fucking mean. Bench unit, Davion Mitchell, Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl, and Lonnie Walker. Still can't believe we got Davion Mitchell basically for a bag of chips. I mean, it's ridiculous. 4th and final year, man. We got to win it all. I'll see you guys at the end of the season. The final season is over. We go 62-20, which I believe is our best record yet. Obviously, that being regular season-wise, got to do it in the playoffs. More importantly, hopefully, in the finals. Luka Doncic is your MVP. Basala Bagioka is your Rookie of the Year. Jalen Suggs, 6th Man of the Year, found his way to Milwaukee. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, this man has won, I think, now 2 depoys. A finals MVP. I mean, he's just ridiculous. Mackenzie Mbako, Most Improved, and Jacob Underwood does win Coach of the Year for us. I'm really banking on us going out and winning a championship this year. We got the best record in the league. I love this team a lot. I'm hoping we can kind of get over that hump and get it done. LaMelo Ball is just an absolute superstar. I cannot believe that Charlotte just gave him to me for 4 draft picks. It's ridiculous. Nick Smith Jr. was really solid. He's up to an 88 overall. Love to see it. Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Davion Mitchell, Gary Trent Jr., Nick Claxton obviously not really doing it in the scoring, but it's good to have a 6'11" guy here in at center, grabbing some more boards. I mean, it's a good team, man. It really is. You just got to go out and you got to perform in the playoffs. We have the Celtics here in round 1. Definitely not my favorite team to play, but as you can see, they did lose Jaylen Brown, and Klay Thompson joined the Celtics. I don't think that would ever happen, but let's see if we can get by them here in round 1. I would say they definitely have the best player in the series, but we have the better team. We sweep them. Cleveland is a gigantic pain in the ass, albeit they did lose Donovan Mitchell, which is really, really helpful, because if they had a 94 overall Donovan Mitchell on this team as well, it would be a whole lot tougher to beat them here in the Eastern Conference semis. So we're up 2-1 against the Cavs right now. We make it 3-1. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Taking on the 6th-seeded Miami Heat. Isaiah Collier, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jovic, Bam Adebayo. So, I mean, besides Isaiah Collier, there really aren't a ton of changes to this team. You got Nasir Cunningham as the 6th man off the bench. Am I crazy for thinking we're going to dog walk this team? I mean, there's just no way they're beating us, keeping up with us. We sweep them. We're in the finals, and we are taking on Victor Wembanyama, the human cheat code, defending finals champion, defending finals MVP here in the finals. You got Damian Lillard, Anthony Simon, Shaden Sharp's up to an 88. Holy shit. This scares me a whole lot. We're up 2-0. Okay, we're up 3-0. Are we going to be getting a championship? I swear to God, if this is one of those videos that I blow a 3-0 lead, I will probably punch my monitor. No, I won't, but I'll be very upset with myself. All right, looks like we're going to be getting it done. I'll get a little bit of gameplay with this team. It's not every day I get to use LaMelo Ball. Let's get in there. We are here in Portland on the verge of sweeping the Trailblazers. LaMelo Ball has 35, 6, and 7. Oh, we don't have the ball. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I thought we had the ball. I can't. I'm all over the place. All right, but we're going to be sweeping the Trailblazers, which is obviously awesome. We're going to be getting a championship, so it feels good, man. Whenever I get nervous about my team's not winning a championship, like, it doesn't feel like a failed video, because I'll always show videos whether I win championships or not. I like to show you guys that, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to win a championship every time, but it does feel a whole lot better when I do go out there and actually get one done here. We're stepping out of bounds, Scotty. I tried to pass it again because I saw it coming. I do want to get Siakam in here as well. I just want to have the starters play it out here, go out and kind of close things out here in Game 4. But yeah, man, I mean, talking about this Raptors team right now, I think it's kind of similar to what I said opening the video. Now, obviously, their team is never going to look like this. But why is LaMelo on Victor Wembanyama? But I think if they can really find that trade, I know they're in like Kevin Durant trade talks as well. I mean, they're in it. They really are. Holy shit, this dude is a freak. They're in the mix. I mean, look what happened. This core that they have right now isn't that much different from what they had back in 2019. You got Scotty Barnes in here. Obviously, I don't think they wanted to include him in any trade rumors or any trade talks with Brooklyn in order to go out and get Kevin Durant, which I kind of get, but I also, I mean, it's Kevin Durant at the end of the day. But I do get it. I understand not wanting to trade your rookie of the year. But the thing with me is if they can go out and acquire somebody like they did Kawhi Leonard or like they almost did with Kevin Durant potentially, I think this team's right back in the mix. I mean, you look at the Eastern Conference right now. In the East right now, I see 3 true contenders, and it's more probably like 2 because the 76ers don't know how to get out of the second round. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Celtics are really, it's just such a top-heavy conference. And that's not saying other teams are bad. It's just saying true contender-wise, there's a lot more true contenders in the West, I do feel. But I do feel like the East is more top-heavy and does have potentially the 2 best teams. So just my takeaway, I think this offseason, I think the Raptors will probably do something. It's just my gut reaction. What that will be, I have no idea. Obviously, things unfold. Guys request trades. Tons of things can happen, but I don't know, man. I'll be really interested to see what ends up happening with Toronto. And I have no idea who that player will be that they go out and get, but I think they were just in such a perfect spot when they ended up trading DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. I think it worked out really well for both. Maybe not worked out well for both sides, but because they had a guy in DeMar that was their number 1 for so many years, obviously could never quite get over the hump, would always get spanked by LeBron. And they went out and they got Kawhi for 1 year. It was obviously a huge risk because nobody knew if he was going to come back. But they won it all. I think if they go out and maybe try to make a trade for a guy who's going to be here for multiple years, I think that's a much more realistic idea that you could actually go out and maybe get a championship again. So just my 2 cents. We're going to do one more possession here and see what ends up happening. Try to clamp off Victor Wembanyama. I mean, there's just nothing I can do against this man. Damian Lillard's probably having a pretty good game. I think LaMelo Ball is probably having a little bit of a better one. Okay, what in the I mean, this dude is a unicorn. He's 7'4". If he like puts on weight, and I don't even know what's going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to like be an MVP in his second season, like he is here in 2K. But this dude puts on weight, it's over for the league. I will see you guys with the Finals MVP. We end up sweeping the Portland Trailblazers in the finals. We go out and get a championship here in our final season, and LaMelo Ball is your Finals MVP. You'll love to see it. So we do end with a Toronto Raptors championship, the first since 2019. And I actually love this team, man. We only ended up with a 9-man rotation, but this was a crazy talented rotation and a crazy, crazy good team. So let me know your thoughts on this team down below in the comments section, along with any other video ideas. Let me know your thoughts on some of the things I just said about the Toronto Raptors while we were doing a little bit of gameplay there at the end of the video. But nonetheless, I had a ton of fun with this one. As always, you guys are new around here. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you stick around a while. Once again, as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.